Hi everyone, and welcome back to Easy Learn English podcast. I'm Anna, and today we have such an interesting topic: cultural differences around the world. I think this is one of my favorite things about traveling. Discovering how different people live, eat, greet each other, and even work. It's amazing how many unique traditions and habits there are in the world. And of course, I'm not alone. Mark is here with me. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm really excited about this topic too. I've had some funny, surprising, and sometimes even embarrassing experiences with cultural differences, and I think our listeners will enjoy hearing about them.
Same here. I remember when I first traveled to Japan. I thought I knew how to be polite, saying please and thank you, but in Japan, politeness is almost like an art form. People bow when they greet you. And even the way you hand over money at a shop has rules.
Oh, yes, I had a similar experience in South Korea. I learned that you should always give and receive things with both hands. The first time, I just used one hand. And the shop owner gave me a little look, not angry, but like, oh, you don't know the rule. After that, I made sure to use both hands.
It's small things like that that really show respect. Let's talk about greetings first. In some countries, people hug or kiss on the cheek when they meet. In others, a handshake is more common.
Right. For example, in France, people often greet each other with two, sometimes even three cheek kisses. The first time I went there, I got so confused, I didn't know which side to start with. So I almost bumped heads with the person.
That happened to me in Spain. I went for one kiss, they went for two, and we ended up doing this awkward dance.
Meanwhile, in some Asian countries like Thailand, you don't touch at all. Instead, they put their hands together and bow slightly. It's called the Y. It feels very formal and respectful.
Yes, and it's so beautiful to see how different greetings are. Now, let's move on to food. Because I think this is where people notice cultural differences the most.
Definitely.
I remember when I went to Ethiopia.
They served a big round bread called injera, and everyone ate from the same plate with their hands. At first, I hesitated. I thought, is it polite to touch the food with my fingers? But that's just how they eat, and it's a sign of togetherness.
That's really nice. I had a similar moment in Morocco. They served couscous, and before eating, they brought a small bowl of water to wash our hands. Everyone sat around the table and shared the food. It felt like such a warm, family experience.
And then there are countries where table manners are completely different. In Japan, for example, slurping noodles is not only okay, it's actually considered polite because it shows you're enjoying the food.
Yes. The first time I did that, I felt so strange, because in my country, slurping is considered rude. But in Japan, they even encourage it.
Another funny one, in some countries, it's rude to leave food on your plate because it means you didn't like it. But in others, leaving a little food shows that you're full.
Exactly. In China, for example, finishing everything might make your host think you're still hungry. So they'll keep giving you more.
Speaking of eating, let's talk about utensils. In many Asian countries, chopsticks are common, but you have to be careful with them. In Japan, for example, never stick your chopsticks upright into a bowl of rice. It's related to funeral traditions.
Oh, I learned that one the hard way. I put my chopsticks in my rice while I was drinking tea. And my Japanese friend quickly explained why that's not okay.
Now, another big cultural difference is clothing. In some places, what you wear is just a personal choice. But in others, it's deeply connected to tradition or religion.
Yes. For example, in some Middle Eastern countries, women wear abayas or headscarves, and in India, traditional saris are still very common.
And even in Western countries, there are unspoken dress codes. In Italy, for example, people dress very stylishly, even just to go out for coffee. When I went there wearing shorts and a t-shirt,
I felt a little underdressed compared to everyone else. I know what you mean. In some cultures, it's important to dress modestly when visiting religious places, like churches, temples, or mosques. In Thailand, for example, you have to cover your shoulders and knees before entering a temple.
exactly. And sometimes it's not about modesty, but about tradition. In Scotland, for example, men sometimes wear kilts for special occasions, and it's completely normal.
Now, let's talk about work culture, because this can be a huge shock for people.
Oh, yes. In Germany, work is very structured and punctual. If a meeting starts at 9 o'clock, you better be there at 8:55. In some other countries, time is more flexible, and being a few minutes late is no big deal.
I experienced that in Brazil. Meetings sometimes started 15 or even 30 minutes later than planned, and no one seemed stressed about it. It's just a different way of life.
And in Japan, the work culture is very formal. People often stay late at the office, even if their work is done, because leaving early might be seen as disrespectful to the team.
Yes, and in some Scandinavian countries, the focus is on work-life balance. People leave the office on time and spend evenings with their families.
It's fascinating how every culture has its own rhythm.
I think the main lesson here is to keep an open mind. What feels strange to you might be completely normal for someone else.
Absolutely. And if you're traveling or living abroad, take the time to learn about the local customs. It shows respect and makes your experience so much richer.
And if you make a mistake, don't worry, most people are understanding. If you're polite and willing to learn.
Yes, cultural differences can be surprising, but they're also what make the world so interesting.
Well said, Mark. That's all for today's episode of Easy Learn English podcast.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay curious and see you next time.